Hello and welcome back to the GorillaBiker, and today I am revealing my new bike, which is this 2015 Suzuki Vstrom 1000. We'll get into why I got this soon when we're on the road, but key points I was looking for was something comfortable for long tours that I could put panniers on, preferably big top opening panniers. I have learned from the panniers I've previously had, and I definitely prefer the concept of top opening, top loading panniers. And also another big thing for me was I wanted cast wheels. So I know I've been mentioning Africa Twins and everything like that recently, and honestly a huge part of why I wanted one of these, because not always, but I pretty much always carry a puncture repair kit with me, and I just didn't want to be dealing with spoked wheels when I ride 90+% on road, and always will ride 90+% on road, more than likely. We'll do a little quick walk around. So what comes extra on this bike? It has the Tractech engine bars here, which are quite nice. It's letting me hang my 360 camera off the front, which is lovely. It also has this Two Brothers Racing exhaust, which, I'm not gonna lie, is a really nice extra to have. Like, really nice. And it also does have Oxford heated grips, which have proved to be useful on the ride home. I picked this up from Pirate Ship Power Sports in Wilmington, and I have to say, big thumbs up to the guys down there. I particularly dealt with a gentleman called Robbie, so shout out to Robbie. Looked after me, made it really easy, to be honest, which is kind of why I didn't go with a lot of other dealers. So what we're going to be doing today is literally just, I'm riding home, well, to the gym, so you can join me for that, and we're going to talk about, I suppose, why I went for a more adventure-y bike before I went for a more sportsy bike, and what the plans are. Today is not a review of this bike, that will be coming, and we're just going to talk about, I suppose, how I found it, why I picked it, and we'll talk a bit about the dealer I got it off and everything else. So if you want to hear all of that, stay tuned. Oh, she starts right up. Alright, let's get going. So you will see already, of course, I have my trusty Ultimate add-ons case added to this bike already. I have to say I am really taken with that Two Brothers exhaust, so let's give that a little listen when my visor's open. I do like twins. Obviously the Aprilia Falco that I had before I left Ireland was the first twin I'd ever owned, and I was a huge fan of it, and I do miss it every day. So honestly, a big part of buying this bike was I wanted to get another twin for the road, just because they're an absolute blast. They really are a lot of fun on the road, and I kind of just wanted to get back to that, because I didn't get to spend enough time with the Aprilia, which, look, is no one's fault. That's just how the cards fell in life. I'm not complaining. Certainly not. I got to try out one of my dreams, which is to move to America as part of the deal. Now we're going to go here. I will not get sick of that noise anytime soon, and I have to commend Two Brothers on that exhaust, because the cool thing about it is, you know, when I start this up in the morning, and the thing is, people who ride their bikes daily, you know, a lot of us who ride bikes on the daily kind of don't want to piss off our neighbours. I ride my bike on the daily, and I won't lie, when I saw this exhaust on the bike when I was looking at it, it was something that kind of concerned me, because I was like, oh, is it going to be too loud? Because it wasn't coming with you know, an insertable baffle or anything. It's just open. It is really windy today also. I apologize if you can hear that. Hopefully you can't hear too much. It's exceedingly windy today. I might not have even taken the bike today if I known it was going to be this blustery, because I really hate riding in the wind. This bike handles it very well though, so I mean, now that I know that, I probably will take it going forward. But what was I saying? I don't remember. Well, yeah, so far I haven't ridden this that much. I literally is still very new to me. You know, I bought it in Wilmington, so I rode it home. It was about 110 miles home. I didn't record on the way home because I was just kind of enjoying the bike, and it was really, 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 really cold. So I also kind of wasn't. It's kind of hard to concentrate and record when you're really cold. And obviously I don't have like a full textile suit over here like I had at home, because my textile suit at home, I would have upgraded it. I was literally researching what to buy, and then, you know, the move to America came through, so I was like, well, I'm not gonna get anything yet. I'll move first. And as it turns out, the textile suit market over here sucks. It's much better at home. Honestly, largely in part thanks to Oxford and RST, but anyway, so I'll get something here eventually. Just because it offers better weather protection. Like, one of the big things when you're cold is holding out the wind, right? It's not really the cold per se, it's the wind gets through your clothes and freezes you to death, which obviously is not ideal. But yeah, no, so far so good with this thing. I absolutely love it. Like I said, only about 150 miles on it really so far. Just brought it into work today. It's literally, I've had this bike 2 days. But yeah, I suppose to answer the questions, because I know I'm going to get them. I know there was a lot of people wondering about why I was going down the route I was going down, or when I was talking about it in videos, I was getting a lot of questions on it. Why did I not go for an Africa Twin? It's honestly largely due to the fact that they have spoked wheels, and I didn't want tubes at all. If I was going to go for that, I nearly would have bought a Transalp brand new, or I would have waited and bought the new Vstrom 800 brand new, but they're also spoked. And also the Africa Twin, while it is a really nice bike on the road, I test rode one of these before I bought the CBF years ago. And it kind of had stuck with me that it was a really nice bike on the road. Now, I never got to make a video that time because it was someone's personal bike and they didn't want it in a video. Fair enough. That's their decision. It's their bike, right? It was never, you know, that's everyone. It's your own machine. I'm not gonna argue with people over that. But it kind of had stuck with me as a bike I would love to try. It gets spoken of very fondly by anyone who owns one when I'm talking to them on the channel or whatever else. They're a very popular machine. And obviously this one coming with the kind of the bars and the exhaust and everything else, it made it that little bit more attractive, because there was stuff that I would have done anyway already done. I would have put the bars on it, the engine bars, and I would have definitely put an exhaust on it. So it kind of ticked a lot of boxes, and also it came in at a pretty reasonable price. You know, all in, out the door, this was less than $10,000, which in today's market, a 2015 with, I think I got it at 11,300 odd miles. In today's market, that's really, really good. Now, is it cheap? No. And I didn't pay for this all up front. I do have a loan on this bike for people interested. You know, I can pay it off early. There's no penalties, which is why I was comfortable going for that deal. And again, in today's world, it was a pretty reasonable APR. So, you know, and anyone who's any interest in that, please message me directly. It's just I don't like speaking about my finances on YouTube. Not for any particular reason. I just don't. But other than that, you know, I was looking at this. I was looking at Super Tenerés, and I was looking at the Africa Twin. There was also a ZX-12R on my radar, and of course the Victory Highball. And what generally decided a bike like this for me is that these are still tall, they're still flickable, you know, they're still fun through turns the way I like bikes to be fun, if that makes sense. You know, I can still lean this quite a lot. It's more my style of bike. Whereas a cruiser, while I definitely would have enjoyed it, they're just not as nimble as one of these. And that's honestly what it came down to, was just the kind of the agility on the road, and that this would be a lot more agile, this would be a lot more what I'm used to, I suppose, you know. And that was pretty important to me, that I kind of wanted something to replace the CBF a bit, because, and And I'll be honest, ever since selling the CBF, and at the time I was okay with selling the CBF. I wasn't happy, but I was okay with it. I really missed the CBF, you know, especially when I rode over to meet my buddy on the CB750. I realized that just being able to load stuff up, you know, having the option of panniers, having the option of a top box on a bike that's made for panniers and a top box that doesn't look silly with them, just made a lot of sense. And another bike that I was really, like, I actually inquired about it and everything, was a Kawasaki Z900 RS, because that bike, as the phrase goes, it lives in my head rent-free. Ever since I test rode the one for Freeman Motorcycles, I adore that bike. I still love those bikes, and in the future I hope to own one. But as my main daily do-it-all bike, since Toaster is going to be using the CB750, I just really couldn't have thought of putting panniers on it. I really couldn't. I couldn't do that. That's going to have to be a second kind of fun bike. I just couldn't. I couldn't bring myself to put panniers on it. I couldn't even think about it. I just couldn't do it. So I didn't. Yeah, what else? I mean, the practicality thing just came back into play. You know, I just missed the CBF for everything it stood for. Do I want to go back to an inline 4 tour, or do I want to go and get a twin because I like them so much for the road? And I picked the twin because you have that instant torque. That instant torque is just so much fun. And this video is going to be like a stream of consciousness, don't worry. I assume if you've been watching the channel enough, you don't worry about that now. You know, I just basically uncork my brain and let words come out. But that was honestly what made my choice, was, right, what's the style of bike that I missed the most? And it was the CBF, which surprised me. And then it was like, right, well, what are the options? Do I want another kind of lower to the ground sports tourer, or do I want to join the city uppy bike life? And you know, I wasn't going to stretch for a GS. The S1000 XR would get me deported, so I wasn't going to get one of those. Yeah, so I mean, the choice that I had was really between kind of the more affordable ADV bikes, which puts you in Japanese territory. So I was between the Kawasaki Versys 1000, the Africa Twin, this, and a Super Tenere. And out of all of those, the most affordable was this. You know, you can get, I found this one obviously pretty reasonable money in today's market. I'm not going to say it's cheap for a 2015, but it was reasonable. You know, the other main contender was a 2019 Honda Africa Twin Adventure Sport, but it was just too much money. It was $5,500 more expensive than this, and I just wasn't comfortable spending that money on a bike right now. I'm just not. And also a huge part of it for me was the dealer. And this is where Pirate Ship Power Sports in Wilmington comes into play. So, as I have always said on the channel, I am very much a pick up the phone and talk to people type of person. If someone wants to get my money from me, which is hard earned, I work hard for my money, and I have a great appreciation of how long it takes to earn said money, because I haven't always earned the money that I earn now, and I'm in a very lucky position to be able to buy something like this. I wouldn't have imagined this a couple of years ago. Definitely not. Like 2015, this is basically a brand new bike to me, you know what I mean? 2015 is nuts. And that, I called around to a lot of dealers. You know, I called about the Z900 RS, I called about, you know, this, that, and the other. I called about an Africa Twin, I called about a Versys 1000 that was for sale, I called about a Vstrom 650, I called about a Versys 650, I called about a Super Tenere, and most of the dealers just didn't. Oh, listen to that. Two Brothers exhaust, well done. Yeah, most of the dealers didn't really seem interested in getting my money, which, I mean, it's fine by me. You don't want to put the effort in to talk to me about a bike and explain my options and, you know, work with me a bit on the price and whatever else, then yeah, I'm not, why should I give you my money, you know what I mean? Whereas And this is absolutely a shout out for Pirate Ship Power Sports. And by the way, they only found out I had a channel after the deal was done, and that was really important to me because I never want to be treated differently to a normal person because I have a YouTube channel. That would be, I just wouldn't like that. It's not something I've ever wanted. It's why I try to pay for everything that I want to review as well. That's not always the case. Obviously, you know, Indie Ridge sent me boots and whatever else, and I'm very grateful for that. But also I do like, you know, I like buying my own stuff. But yeah, so that was the case. They found out afterwards, which is cool. I'm fine with that. But I do want to shout out Robbie in particular, because how he sold this bike to me, and I don't know, he probably doesn't know this. So I bought this essentially sight unseen, or well, not essentially, it was sight unseen. I saw pictures, and I talked to Robbie on the phone, and I said, you know, the rear tire looks a bit squared off for me. I'm not liking it. And he, without me even having to ask, he went out, had a look, and said, you know what, we'll put a new tire on it for you if you decide to buy it. And I mean, honestly, that's what sold the bike. I thought the price was fair looking around the internet. So what sealed the deal, and I didn't do any bargaining, was that rear tire. You know, and I mean, that's if any of the salesmen are listening to it, that is generally all you have to do, is show a bit of interest and appreciation for how much money this person is committing to spend with you. I don't know if people lost sight of how much money it is to buy one of these, but like, I will never not be aware of how much this thing is worth. You know what I mean? It is a huge outlay for me in the fact that I've committed to spend it. You know what I mean? It's not like I don't under appreciate that, and I think a lot of people, particularly in sales, I think you need to have more of an appreciation for that, because yeah, all right, you might get a customer who's rich and doesn't really care, but that's it. I mean, it has to be the lowest percentage of who you sell to, right? Because most people aren't rich. If most people were rich, then we wouldn't have a word rich for it. It'd just be normal. Like I said, props to Robbie. Pirate Ship Power Sports, really happy with the purchase. It's riding beautifully. It's a very clean bike. I am extremely happy, and thank you for dealing with me how you dealt with me on the phone. Every time I called them, there was never size. They were very quick to answer the phone, very quick to give me the information I asked for. I would absolutely deal with them again. And full disclosure, there actually was an issue with the bike when I went to pick it up. And again, what kept me from getting mad about it was, not that I would have been mad about it, I would have just been a bit disappointed. But they actually came out and sent me back into the workshop to the bike to see what the guys were doing, and all it turned out to be was the tip over switch was being a bit awkward. It's now obviously not an issue. And I rode my bike away. So, but it's stuff like that that makes the difference. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that that wins me over to a dealership. That dealership is 2 hours away from me. And if they had another bike in the future that I like the look of, I would absolutely buy from them again. But yeah, that's kind of it. That's the story of the Vstrom. Obviously, over the next few years, there's going to be a lot of content with this. I would love to ride some gravel roads with it. Obviously, having cast wheels, I'm not going to do any crazy off-roading, but some like fire roads, gravel roads, I would love to take this thing away and do them. Obviously, I'll do like a first ride review. Obviously, it won't be a first ride review per se. It'll be a, you know, a first impressions review. But that's how a lot of my videos are anyway. I generally don't just jump on a bike and record. I do like to get the, oh, that's my turn. I do like to get the feel of it. And actually, that's one thing I will say, is the brakes on this bike are really good. Really good. Better than the Africa Twin, because I have ridden the Africa Twins. If you follow the channel, you'd have probably seen those reviews. I rode the DCT model. Oh, I love that noise. And also I rode the manual model, and I have to say, you know, while they are absolutely fantastic bikes, this one does ride a bit nicer on the road straight off the bat, which obviously, without having them side by side, I don't think you'll ever tell that fully properly. That's something I would actually love to do, but and from a power perspective, this technically I think is slightly more powerful, but again, seat of your pants feel, they're about the same. There's really not much between them. I think the engine on this one probably sounds a little bit nicer. I have heard twins with exhaust on them and whatnot, but I do like the tone of this. Now obviously a lot of that is to do with the exhaust too, and again, hats off to two brothers, because that sounds so nice. I'm really looking forward to bringing videos of this bike to you. What's next for it? I'm looking at Boomot panniers. I think I'll probably get the Boomot panniers. I did consider reaching out to some vendors and being like, hey, you want to send me some panniers? And then I decided, no, I'd actually rather buy them. So I probably won't reach out to anyone unless someone knows someone that I don't have to do the whole awkward introduction. If you can introduce me to someone, then maybe I'll consider it more. But if I have to do the whole awkward dance of like, hey, I'd like some free stuff, I'm probably not going to do that, because I don't really like that, to be honest. So I probably won't do it. That's a stop. And yeah, that's kind of it. I might change the front screen. I'm not sure do I like it. I do like how it looks. It looks quite nice, but from the perspective of how well it's shielding me, it's shielding my body quite well from the wind, but it's quite loud up higher. So I don't know, should I go for a shorter screen or you know, try to get a taller one? But then taller screen, I don't have to just think about me, I have to also think about, you know, obscuring your view, which is very important to me. I don't want to do that. So yeah, we'll see what I'll go for. I'm not sure what I'll do. And also the seat, so the ride back, while the seat was fine, it's from what I've read online from other people too, it's not the softest thing in the world. So I might see about getting a kind of a comfort seat or something if they're available. I don't know, are they? Time will tell when I start googling that. But first and foremost, I think that the first thing I want to get for this, since the exhaust and all that's already done, is panniers, because the suspension feels fine. Otherwise I'd have a look at the suspension, but the suspension is delectable, and I do have full adjustment on the front and also the rear. Right now they're kind of both intermediate levels of preload and whatever else. Actually, they're slightly lower on the range of preload, so I have a lot to play with, which again I'm really happy to see, because that should be the case in a bike like this. I mean, it's designed for it's designed to be able to do 2-up riding with luggage, so I mean it should easily be able to take one me and some luggage. So yeah, really pleased with how the suspension has worked out from stock, because that's something, like I said before, you know, it's something that I do look at now kind of first on bikes, is suspension, because it can be kind of shite on a lot of bikes, but in this case, no, this one's good. And yeah, otherwise I am absolutely loving this thing. It is so nice to ride on the road. Big torquey twins, there's a lot to be said for them, which I mean is good, because a lot of bikes now, oh, apparently I was in second. A lot of bikes now are going to parallel twins, which I mean sucks in a way. You know, we don't have the selection we used to have, maybe, and won't have going forward. But you know, as long as it keeps us with ICE engine bikes, not electric bikes, I'll take a nice sounding parallel twin every day of the week over electric. So long may it continue in that sense. You know, if that's what manufacturers have to go to, I'm on board. Obviously a V is cool, but a parallel twin is cheaper to manufacture, so I get it. As much as I hate it, I get it. I still would like to get another V4 at some point, but let's see what the future holds. For now, the Vstrom is here. The Vstrom is the one that's going to be on the channel for the foreseeable. So yeah, let's see what we get up to with it. I'm obviously going to do some hopefully long distance trips on this thing. I mean, that's kind of a large part of why I got it, so that I could be comfortable long distance and carry lots of luggage. I kind of want to do a track day on it to see how it gets on. Well, not kind of, I'm probably going to do a track day to see how it gets on. Let me know, would you like to see that? And yeah, overall, just let me know what you think of this bike purchase in the comments. Like I said, I'll have a more detailed first ride review video coming. This is just, I wanted to talk about it because I was trying not to post it on Instagram until I made a video. So now I can. Now I can post every day about how much I love this bike. And yeah, until next time, thank you very much for watching. I'm actually not sure is this camera recording, so before I say adios, it is. Until next time, a special thank you as always to my patrons who helped me while I was agonizing over this decision. And yeah, until next time, adios. Outro crew. If you had to pick one between this, a Super 10RA, a Versus 1000, or an Africa Twin, which would you have picked? Let me know. Bye, outro crew.